Let's spin the magic wheel and see what we're going to win today. Take a guess. Are you ready for some hardcore Jeep action? Well, not hardcore, but maybe some Jeep action. Only a Jeep owner would put something like this on their front end. Here we are again at our storage and test facility. Let's open the door and see what we're rolling out today. Hope it's an off-roader because the weather's nice and I want to get out and play in the dirt. Looks like we've snagged ourselves a Jeep Gladiator pickup truck. One of my favorites. The base price of a Gladiator runs around $34,000, but if you want the Rubicon version like we have here, see, says so right on the hood, now you're up to $44,000 because you get more goodies. Starting with the 17-inch wheels with 33-inch heavy-duty tires. Heavy-duty Fox shocks. Those aren't cheap. Bunch of skid plates under here somewhere. Sway bars that can be electronically disconnected. Heavy-duty Dana front and rear axles. And along with front and rear locking differentials. But wait, there's more. The factory wanted me to enjoy everything, so they sent me a vehicle with every option. $1,600 for this nice leather trim with the Rubicon logo. $1,900 for the upgraded stereo and navigation system. $500 for a bed liner. You know you gotta have that. And $450 for this soft cover that goes over the bed. This has the 3-piece removable hardtop. Nice if you live in a clean climate like Hawaii, but I live in the desert, so there's no way I'm going to take this off and get dust all over the cabin and all over me. It's $2,400 extra if you want it. And if you want the soft cover that replaces it, fork up another $600. It's in this bag. If you're going to connect a winch, you'll need this heavy-duty bumper, $850 more. And the front camera, that'll set you back another $600. If you live in Alaska, you'll want the cold weather package, heated steering wheel, heated mirrors, the usual stuff, $1,000 extra. $4,000 extra for the Eco Diesel engine. We'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. If you want the turbo diesel engine, you'll be forced to buy the $2,000 automatic transmission along with it, which you should be ordering anyway. And $1,300 for the LED light package, including LED headlights. Let's take these out in the dark while we're looking at them and see what they do. It's dark enough. We'll take these out and see what they do. Here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away, very bright, decent height. Of course, this is a high-riding vehicle, so I would hope so. And high beam, definitely right in the center. Here's the front camera view in the dark, and the rear camera view. Both would be a lot better if we didn't have mud splattered on the lens, but otherwise, you know, it looks pretty good. Well, not on your end because I'm using a cheap camera in my hand, but trust me, it looks pretty good from my eyeball perspective. And here we have the brights only building 300 feet away. Good widespread, nice and bright. Low beam, 80% out. Looks good to me. And looks like the inside of the bed lights up at night when you lower the tailgate. Part of your $1,300 light package, no doubt. Handy to have in the dark. And if you're towing anything, $360 for the tow package. I think that includes these nice red tow hooks. And believe it or not, there are even more options, but the video would be way too long if I go down the entire list, so let's just cut to the chase. If you want a Gladiator Rubicon loaded with all the goodies, here's what you're going to be paying, plus tax and license. Here's one option we didn't have on our Jeep. I don't know if it's available from the factory. Looks like one of those dealer service advisors in the warranty department. Your warranty's expired, sir. That'll be $10,000, please. The base engine is a gasoline V6, putting out 285 horsepower. Rated at 17 mpg in the city, 22 on the highway. In the real world, expect around 19 average. The torque rating is 260 pounds-feet of torque. We had the optional turbo diesel. Horsepower is down from 285 on the gas to 260 on the diesel, but the torque rating is fantastic, a whopping 440 foot-pounds at a low 1400 RPM. Fuel economy rate 21 in the city, 27 on the highway. We'll be getting the real-world fuel economy later on in the video. To put this in perspective, the 5.7-liter V8 in the Ram truck puts out 395 foot-pounds of torque. So at 440, this is putting out 55 more and at lower RPM. So this actually has more pulling ability than the big Ram truck with the 5.7 V8. For those of you dreaming about a V8, well, there are some custom shops in town that do that, and it's nice to have the 370 horsepower. But the fact is, if you do it, the 395 foot-pounds of torque you get off the V8 will not match the torque you get on this 3-liter V6, so why bother? This does just fine, as we'll see later on in the video. A lot of people buy diesel engines because they have this mistaken belief they're more reliable than gasoline engines. No, not true. Yes, the big rigs you see on the freeway hauling 100 tons of tomatoes will go 300, 400,000 miles, maybe 500,000 miles, but they're designed from the ground up and detuned from the ground up to do just that. These diesel engines we get in light-duty trucks and cars, they're not built like that. They don't last any longer than a typical gasoline engine. That's just a fact, people. Your typical gasoline engine will be good for 150,000 miles. Some Toyotas and Chevys I've seen go 300,000 without an issue. Very few diesels you find in light-duty vehicles are going to beat that. It's not about reliability or durability, it's about getting low-end torque and pulling ability, and that's where the diesel really rolls. And that's why it works very nice in the Jeep like this. Inside, the very simple typical Jeep controls. Very simple climate control system. A good old-fashioned manual knob for engaging four-wheel drive high or low. You don't want an electronic button, come on. You want a good old-fashioned stick. Tradition. The other tradition I like, a good old-fashioned manual parking brake. Now that electronic garbage, we don't want electronic garbage, we want a good old-fashioned manual parking brake. And we get that. And grab handles for rough going. The first half of the video show and tell is over. Let's do the second half, take this out and do some driving. One of the biggest gripes about Jeep power steering systems, the center has no feel and it's kind of sloppy. They do that so you don't bust up your knuckles when you're doing serious off-roading. And this is an off-roading vehicle, so we shouldn't complain too much. And with these bigger tires, the feel is a lot better than the standard model. Bottom line, you'll get used to it. Usually the turning circle is reserved for sports cars, but what the heck with these tires? Let's see if we can spin it out. Holding pretty good for a Jeep. I don't think you have to worry about spinning out on corners. The Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator comes in many different styles. You got 2-door, 4-door, small tires, big tires, stiff shocks, medium shocks, so you get 12 different vehicles and get 12 different results as far as ride goes. For our purposes, this applies to the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. We're going to take this on some mild speed humps and see how the suspension performs on impact. It's pretty smooth on the street, so it shouldn't be an issue here. We're going to take all 4 of these around 20 miles per hour. Here comes number 1. Felt a lot of clumping from those big tires, but didn't feel anything. Shocks are doing a pretty good job. Here comes number 2. Number 3. Here comes a nasty one. This should be interesting. Heard it, but didn't really feel it. So far, I've been averaging 21.2 in mixed city and freeway commuting. We're going to take this out on the highway, 75 miles per hour, and see if we can bump these figures up a bit. Basically, this is a comfortable highway cruiser. Like most Jeeps, the steering's dead on center, but that's not a big deal. You'll get used to it. A lot of wind noise around the mirrors and a little bit around the top, but nothing serious. Overall, pretty comfortable. Definitely a smooth ride and good riding position. Oh, riding position? I meant driving position. Now let's pull over and see what our fuel economy ended up being. 87 miles, 23.1 mpg. I was expecting a bit more, but maybe next time. That's the official count for now. We're going to stop by the ranch house, get some supplies so we can do some ranch patrolling, and I really got to fix that roof someday. Need a new door too. I never thought I'd see fog in the desert, especially in the middle of the day, but yeah, you never know. Time to take this off-road. In fact, I've already done a bunch, and taking these trails pretty good. In fact, we've never had to put it in four-wheel drive yet. These big tires have lots of traction. Out here in the middle of nowhere, you don't want to get stuck out here. They'll never find you. I'm surprised how smooth the suspension is. Almost as good as the Ford Raptor I had last year. That's saying a lot. And we're still in two-wheel drive. Yeehaw. And we're going to turn on the trail cam, showing which directions your wheels are turning. And of course the camera's shaking too much to show you how it works. Oh, where'd it go? I don't care what my pitch is, I want to see the trail cam. There we go. And our accessory gauges, drivetrain. Well, the road around the lake is blocked. We'll have to go around and try a different route. Nice view though. I'm really impressed with the ability of this vehicle. We really haven't had to put it in four-wheel drive at all. We've gone on some very rough trails. I really like this vehicle. If someone else is paying for it, that is. We were going to give you some excitement by crossing the river, but the flood destroyed everything and we're not going anywhere. Not on this road. Oh well. We're shooting for 1,000 miles. Haven't got there yet, but 687 this far. 22.1 this far. I'm paying for the gas, so you don't have to. The diesel, rather. Gotta get that word gas out of my vocabulary. The way this diesel engine climbs steep grades is just amazing. Doesn't even breathe hard. Just tap the gas pedal, the diesel pedal, and it moves right along with no stress at all. A fantastic engine. I really like it. Also, the handling ability on tight mountain roads is very good. This thing really hugs the pavement, but of course we're talking about the Rubicon with the big fat tires and the Fox shocks. The standard Gladiator doesn't handle quite as good, but more than adequate. Still an overall pleasant vehicle to drive. This is a very nasty dirt road. Got some ripples on here that can knock the fillings out of your teeth and destroy some suspension alignments, but I'm just gliding right over this stuff. Very few trucks that can do this. I see my nice looking Jeeps attracting a lot of attention from the locals. Come on down and take a look. Only 67 grand and it's all yours. Well, they didn't like that price. It scared them off. Come on, easy payments. Finally made it to our secret hideaway. Home away from home. And up there are a couple of rats who got in the air cleaners and never made it out. Been there for 2 years. I'm going to go in and clear out the rattlesnakes, and then we'll come back and continue this video. And we even made a guest house for relatives we don't like and want to get rid of. Did you enjoy your stay?
Yep.
Time to go now. Ordinarily I wouldn't be laughing at a road sign on the side of a trail, but considering that we are about 100 miles from the nearest town, there's nothing in between but me, the Jeep, and a bunch of burros. Who put this here? So what's my take on this Gladiator Rubicon? Well, I love mid-sized trucks. The Toyota Tacoma and the Nissan Frontier come to mind. But I can say I love this one of all the three. But at 67,000 bucks, it's a bit out of my price league. In fact, most of the Gladiators are, even at $33,000 by the time you load it up with the things you want. You're getting way up there at a price that I can't afford. And if I had the money, the Toyota Tacoma, loaded with just about everything, runs around 40 flat. And to get a similarly equipped Jeep Gladiator would be a lot more. Nice vehicle, but kind of pricey. Now, number two, the fuel economy. The 2070 PG they give you on the window sticker, it's never going to happen, okay? I've driven these before, even cruising at 60 miles per hour with the cruise control on. Around 25 is about all you're going to see in the real world. Overall average on this was around 22 to 23, which is what I've gotten on the other vehicles that had this engine, including the Ram truck. Compare that to the gasoline V6, around 19 to 20. But you shouldn't really be concerned about fuel economy because I did the math. Over a 10-year period, you spend the $4 grand for this engine, maybe slightly better fuel economy. After 10 years, 100,000 miles, it all works out to be about the same. It's not about economy, it's about performance. In terms of performance, there are two types of Jeep drivers out there. First, you have the hardcore people. No trail is too rough. No cliff is too steep. They're always engaging four-wheel drive low, engaging the lockers. Hardcore people that want to use them the way they're meant to be. If that's you, you need the diesel. Absolutely. The pulling power is fantastic. You're cheating yourself if you don't get it. Fork up the $4 grand, don't be cheap. The other type of driver are the soft-core folks. They're not really into hardcore four-wheeling. They just want a vehicle that's going to get there and get back without getting stuck. That's me, by the way. They're going to be perfectly happy with the V6 gasoline engine, and I am too. Of course, if someone hands me the keys to the EcoDiesel Jeep, I'm not going to complain. I love the engine. Just can't afford to buy it. Regardless of the engine you get or can afford, this is a great truck. Definitely worth checking out. Here's some videos of other 4x4 rigs we've driven. Just click and watch.